Okay, ladies and gents, welcome to round one of the 2021 NS Rod Sunline Bream Classic Series. Can you believe we got there? We got through the COVID 2020 and we're still here. Round one at Warrnambool for the Glenelg Hopkins BCF Bream Classic. Got 37 teams in the field this weekend. It should be a fantastic weekend, and hopefully the weather holds up and the fishing is fantastic. Just want to start by thanking everyone that's going to fish this weekend. It's great to get the support. Hopefully we have a full series in 2021 and we don't miss one round. Our major sponsors for this weekend are the Glenelg Hopkins CMA, or Catchment Management Authority, and BCF. So make sure you stock up at BCF over the weekend with all your fishing supplies. What we're going to do now is we're going to have a listen to Steve Ryan from the Glenelg Hopkins CMA. He's going to take us through some of the amazing projects and work that the Glenelg Hopkins CMA have been doing. They do some fantastic stuff to ensure that your waterways are pristine, and it's only going to improve the fishing for you guys into the future. So let's have a listen to Steve now, and then we'll come back to the briefing.
Steve Ryan from Glenelg Hopkins CMA. I'm here today just to have a quick chat about what we're up to with some of the habitat works we're going to be doing in the Hopkins River in the next 2 to 3 years. As you know, we're a named sponsor of the Bream Classic in Warrnambool, and so I thought I'd just update a few, and for whoever hasn't seen what we're up to, I can just sort of bring you on board and hopefully give you a bit of an idea of what we do at the CMA as well. So I'm just going to share my screen with everyone so they can see what's going on. So bear with me. Hopefully that you can see that. And as I said, we're one of the naming sponsors of the Bream Classic in Warrnambool. And so just thought we'd go quickly through a few slides to show you what the CMA is about, but also what sort of projects that are going to be coming up to improve habitat in the Hopkins River. So as I said, the Catchment Management Authorities, there's quite a few of us across the state. We're in the left-hand corner there at Glenelg Hopkins, and we're responsible of doing a lot of the large-scale river restoration works, and we coordinate that through a lot of our different programs across the CMA. But we also get involved in land management and land and water and biodiversity management as well. So that's about us. So what are we actually going to be doing in the next little while? A few years ago, I came and had a chat to you guys at one of the briefings and went through some of the opportunities that we had coming up, and we had put some funding applications together, and we were lucky enough to get quite a bit of funding from the federal government to improve fish habitat. And so I'll just go through what we're going to intend to do. But before that, I just thought it'd be good to touch on why we're doing it. It's really important for not just angling species, but all fish species to have really healthy waterways. And we've known over the past that we've removed a lot of structures or habitat in the rivers, and now we're slowly putting them back in and hopefully helping out a lot of our fish species that need it. So we do that in a range of different ways. We use rock and timber and vegetation, for instance, but they're also we also do things like plant trees on the side of the banks, or what we call the riparian zones. And that's more of your long-term processes. As those trees start to grow, they drop limbs and snags into the waterways, and that creates habitat in itself. But it's going to take a while for that to happen. So we're looking at these short-term or medium-term stop gaps until the vegetation can grow and support it, do it naturally. We get a lot of community groups involved, as you can see from the slide there, and either by planting trees or coming along to some of our days we have on the river. This is a slide of the Merri River, which is not too far from the Hopkins in Warrnambool, and we did some bathymetry work there, and you can see in the photo there that there's not much in the way of timber snags, that's for sure, in the Merri in this instance. But we know anything we do in the river, we're going to improve things. And how we measure that improvement is by looking at something like this. Is actually we're increasing the carrying capacity of the river. So at the moment our rivers probably have got poor carrying capacity or degraded habitat, which makes it less likely to have lots of healthy fish. So what we're kind of trying to do with the aid of snags and rock and other habitat installations, we're trying to lift that carrying capacity to improve the conditions. We've done this in a few places in and around Warrnambool already and elsewhere. This is one site that a few of your local guys might know about. This is Cassidy's Bridge on the Merri River. And you can see we come in the top left-hand corner. That was the river before we started, and looks pretty idyllic there, but this is actually a lot of willow trees and not much else that grows under those trees. And yeah, they cause a few issues in our waterways and increase things like blue-green algae occurrences because they drop all their leaves at once and add lots of nutrients. But like I said, they don't actually. There's not much else that grows under willows either. So and the diversity needed for fish, but also terrestrial animals, is impacted by these trees. So what we do, we come in and remove these woody weeds. We hopefully get a few participants through community groups, and they come along and help us plant trees. And you can see here as time goes on, you can see these riparian zones start to fix themselves, or with our help, they start to the trees start to grow and start adding habitat into the river. So we also, as I said, we put things into the river as well, not just on the bank. So this is the same site. We've started to put in some lay down snags and some root balls, but also fish hotels and rock, which we find that all our fish, depending on what species it is, will use a different type of habitat. So we try to mix it up as much as we can, and we've coined this phrase of the habitat packs, which is all these different types of structures going in a pretty discrete areas. We get a lot of help with anglers and other community groups, as I said, but we even get them along and build fish hotels. This is an Ozfish Day that we ran, and yeah, we had lots of people there helping out, which was awesome, and we built some great fish habitat at the same time. We weigh these fish habitats down, these hotels down with lots of rock as well, so they actually sink. And we pretty much found as soon as we put the habitat in, the fish start turning up. Lots of partners, as I said, and yeah, if you want to be involved, please get in contact with me, and we can start getting you involved in some of our projects. So some of the new projects that we are running, and I'd like to say first up is thanks heaps for being involved in this. And a couple of years ago when we were in the last Warrnambool event, we came along with some maps, and all you guys put in a preference to where the habitat should go in the Merri, into the Hopkins River. And you might remember these maps, and we got you to draw wherever you wanted the habitat to be, and we took that all on board, and we also went to other places and other angling groups and talked to them as well. So the results of those, which was really interesting, came back, and you can see here the different colours represented different areas where you suggested to put the habitat, and we took all those number one preferences and worked out that where the habitat, the anglers would like the habitat, but also we figured out too where we could actually do the works. And we found around this Deakin area here up to Rowan's Lane and a bit beyond is where most of the work you would like to see most of the work getting done. There's a few places we couldn't do work in the Hopkins, for instance, in this area around where it says yellow 21 area. There's a lot of skiers and zones through there, and a lot of recreational boats. So we just got to be careful and make sure we put these in the right place so they're not in the way of other river users. So what will it actually look like on the ground? This is some of the stuff that we will be doing. This is just at Marnie's boat ramp there. We'll be doing a lot more of an area, but this is just a little discrete area, and this is the sort of things we can do. So you can excuse my attempt at drawing. It wasn't awesome, but you can sort of see the fish hotels will sit out a little bit wider. We've got some lay down snags that'll go in. The red little circles there, they represent rocks. And we're going to put about 100 pieces in that area that you've identified around the Deacon Flats. We know in the past that there was structures in the water there, and hopefully we can improve that carrying capacity, or lift that carrying capacity by doing this type of work. And in the future we will have corresponding riparian or bank plant trees planted as well, and they'll start adding to what we've already put in. So yeah, that's about all I wanted to say. Just wanted to catch up with you guys to tell you what we're intending to do, and just a big thanks for being involved in the project so far. We've had about 150 to 200 people respond to these surveys that we put out, and we really appreciate your input. And yeah, if you've got any questions, please get in contact with me. Bill's got my details, or just find us on the Glenelg Hopkins CMA webpage. All right, thanks everyone. Have a good couple of days.
Okay, that was some amazing stuff. They do some great work. Some of those projects, just some of those pictures showing the differences in the rivers when they've cleared them, and some of that habitat that they're putting in there, that's definitely going to improve the fishing no end in the future. Okay, let's get stuck into this briefing. So let's have a look at the destination for the weekend. This is the Hopkins River. So our tournament area is from the mouth of the Hopkins River all the way to Turum Stones. We won't be going above Turum Stones. Let's have a look at some main landmarks there. So starting down the bottom, you've got the bridge. You can fish the bridge, you can go under the bridge, all the way to the mouth. That's perfectly fine. Coming on up, we've got a few launching facilities. So our check-in on each day will be down the bottom here near the ski club. So you've got a couple of launching options. You've got the main launching ramp there, which is near where we will be checking in, and you've got the launching ramp a little bit further down. If you want to launch at Deacon and then drive down to the check-in, you're more than welcome to do that as well. So there's three options close by to launch in the morning. Just heading up the river to the right-hand side, be careful of the shallow flats in here. They are prop munching bits of coral, so be careful in there. Moving on up through the ski lane here. Now, our ski lane is still going to be 10 knots. It's going to be 10 knots for the entire river this weekend, so we won't be using the ski lane as full speed. So heading up the river through the ski lane, as you move up to the Deacon area, you'll be confronted by some shallow flats. If you haven't fished the river before, make sure you check out these signs. Keep these signs in view. Caution, underwater reef. They do cause havoc with the boats if you do hit them. They're not nice for motors or for beautiful gel coat hulls, so be careful of that. Okay, so you've got some shallow flats moving on. There's a number of different shallow flats areas that you'll see all the way up the river. So you can fish anywhere along the river. You can see this BCF sign here. Our weighing area will be a drive-by weighing at BCF, which I'll show you in a minute in a little bit more detail. Heading all the way up the river, our final destination, can't go any higher, is Turum Stones. So we're not going to be heading up above Turum Stones, so make sure you pay close attention to that. So that is our venue for the weekend. Moving along. Okay, so Saturday, we will be doing key tag check-ins in the morning down near the Warrnambool Ski Club down there near that main boat ramp. Once you've launched your boat, come past. I'll be there from 6 a.m. We will check your lanyard is attached and working on the Saturday. We'll check that you've got your life jackets on, your live well is empty. If it is still dark, which it probably will be, we'll make sure that you've got your nav lights on. So once you do that and we check all that, we'll give you your key tag and you can head off out and just wait. So you won't be starting, you'll be heading off, waiting, floating on the water, waiting till 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock comes and we will start. We'll do a rolling start down at the entry board from position 1 to 37. 5-second or so interval between each boat. Now remember, we're doing 10 knots up the river. So as everyone heads up the river, there shouldn't really be any overtaking. 2 o'clock, you need to be back down at that main area where we do the key tag check-in. You have to hand your key tag back in at 2 o'clock. Once you've handed your key tag back in, you can then put your boat on the trailer and then do a drive-by weigh-in. Now, a drive-by weigh-in process will be like so. Okay, so as you can see here we have our BCF store. What you'll be doing is in the red arrows, you can see if you launch down at Deakin, you'll be coming up the road here, you'll be turning left, and you'll be driving in behind BCF and all the stores. So the service like lane at the back of all the stores. If you're coming from the ski club area, if you launch down there, you'll be coming along the highway here and see these red arrows, you'll be turning right at the lights, and then you'll be turning right into the back section of where BCF is. And again, you'll be driving along the back there, and you'll stop before you come into the main sort of car park area, and we'll have a rep from BCF there just holding everyone. And what we'll be doing is letting about 5 teams through each in groups, and you'll come up here, you'll park your boats. One member will get your fish out of your live well. Another member will grab the bag and you'll come up and you'll weigh your fish in live. Once you've weighed them in, we might, if you've got a big brim, we'll weigh that in for the JML Angler Alliance big brim. If you've got some great fish, we'll do some happy snaps. Once you've weighed in your fish, we'll give you back your bag of fish. We'll get you to put your fish back in your live well, and we'll get you to head off and release them. Whether you release them down at Deakin waterfront, the Deakin down there on the water, or you head back to the Warrnambool Ski Club area, it doesn't bother me as long as you release those fish. If you wanted to park your boat and car and have a look at the rest of the Wain, you can see this big green area. That's where you'll be doing that. If you have any questions about that drive-by weighing process, please give me a call. I'm more than happy to explain it to you guys. All right, let's move right along. Okay, so on Sunday, same thing. 6 a.m. in the morning, down near the Warrnambool Ski Club there, on the floating pontoons, we'll do the key tag check-in. You'll come past with your life jackets on, safety lanyard will be attached, and you'll have an empty live well. You'll sit on the water there till 7 a.m. Once 7 a.m. comes, I will do a rolling start down the leaderboard, 5-second interval or so, again, making sure we adhere to those speed restrictions. 2 p.m, back at that floating pontoon near the ski club to hand your key tag in, and then it will be that drive-by weigh-in, same process again, driving in behind all the stores, behind BCF, stopping before you come into that main car park, and we'll send you through in groups of 5. Once we have finished the weigh-in, we'll get into our presentation. So we will have, we'll present the Graham Taylor Memorial Trophy for the team that gets the biggest bag on day 2. We'll also then present a presentation of the Sunline Best Bag, and that's for the biggest bag for the whole weekend. We'll also do presentation of the JM Anglers Alliance Big Brim for the biggest brim for the weekend. We've got the presentation of the Hurricane Monster Movers Prize for the team that moves the furthest up the leaderboard on day 2. And we'll also have the presentations of the top 10. So 10th place through to 4th place will get a prize pack. 1st, 2nd and 3rd will get the cash, and 1st obviously will get the trophies. We've got some random draw prizes that we'll be doing on Saturday after the weigh-in. So once we've done the weigh-in on Saturday, we'll draw some Spotted sunglasses, some PFDs thanks to Humminbird Minn Kota. I believe we might have a couple of rod stick giveaway as well. And we've also got the, we'll present on Saturday the Shimano Junior Angler prize, which will be making sure all our guys this year get a Junior Angler prize. So yeah, we'll be doing that. So that is our process. Let's get into our rules. So again, straightforward, 7 till 2 is our fishing time. Not before or after that time will we be fishing. You must carry your Victorian fishing license. Your boat operator must have their boating license. All teams must obey all posted speed limits. As we said, 10 knots across the whole river this weekend, which is pretty straightforward. All teams must obey the 0.05 blood alcohol limits. So if you are driving the boat, be aware of that. Police may be in attendance. Each team is looking for 5 Bream on lures, flies, or soft plastics, and we're looking at 29 centimetres to the tip of the tail is the length we're looking for. So full length measurement of 29 centimetres minimum. All our live wells, they must be a minimum of 60 litres, guys, with an aeration or water circulation unit in them. You can use hard bodies, soft plastics, or flies to catch your fish. You can't use any bait. You can only actively use one rod at a time. If you snag up a rod, you must break it off before casting the next one. Okay, we've got our PFDs. If your boat's smaller than 4.8 metres, you must wear your PFD at all times. If your boat's larger than 4.8 metres, you need to wear your PFD when you're using your outboard motor. Once you stop, if you're using your electric, you can take it off if you like. All anglers are not permitted to leave contact with their boat while fighting a fish. Any anglers observed away from their boat landing a fish will have that fish removed from that day's bag. Teams must respect other teams' fishing space, so remain a good cast away, which is very prevalent at the Hopkins. It is a smaller venue, so be mindful of your space, guys. Any anglers in distress are a top priority, so make sure you render assistance if it's safe to do so, or contact me. Teams that are late back for the 2 p.m. Check-in down there near the Warrnambool Ski Club will incur a 100 gram per minute penalty to their weight. And if you're late back 15 minutes or more, you will not weigh in on that day. You'll be disqualified. Teams caught blatantly breaking any posted speed limits on the river will be disqualified from that day. If you are booked by the police for speeding and they inform us, you will be disqualified from that day as well. Okay, let's have a look at our team's starting order for this weekend. As I said, we have 37 teams. We had a few that had to drop out last minute, which is a bit of a shame, but we do have 37 in the field this weekend, and I'll be looking forward to catching up with you guys. Hopefully Saturday night, catch up maybe at the Flying Horse for dinner. Yeah, everyone head down there. Okay, team 1 is Samurai Rods, team 2 Chemically Sharp, team 3 Pioneer, team 4 MPW, team 5 Savage Trailers, team 6 EGM Revisited, team 7 Don the Sash, team 8 SLH Duff Rods, team 9 Just Winging It, 10 is Tackle Tactics, 11 Trelaws Fencing, 12 211 175, 13 Lowrance Miller Rods, 14 Why Not a Tornado, 15 Wobbly Mix, 16 Procrastinators, 17 Purple Patch, 18 BS, 19 Fanatics, 20 tightontackle.com.au, 21 Alan Orbost Angler, 22 Forays Displays and Signs, who made the trophies for the weekend, so thanks for that, Pete. 23 Richardson Marine Tackle Shack, 24 Lureback, 29 25 Southwest, 26 The Old Timers, 27 Catchin, 28 Daiwa, 29 Barely Legal, 30 Bluefin, 31 Mojo, 32 The Pie Warmers, 33 Real Steel, 34 Spinning a Line, 35 Cranker, 36 Atomic Club Marine, and 37 is Off Chops. So that is our field for the weekend. So if you have any questions, that is our briefing, guys. If you're new to the comps and you think I didn't quite get that, please feel free to give me a call or a text. If you have any concerns, feel free to have a chat. Thanks for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you guys all bright and early tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. down there near the Warrnambool Ski Club on the floating pontoons. Hopefully it's not bucketing down. And just remember, guys, this weekend, it is the Graham Taylor Memorial Trophy, where we remember our good mate, Graham. It was his home water, and he always had that knack of coming home with a wet sail. So look forward to seeing you in the morning. Have a good night, and thanks for tuning in.